How many minutes are in a game?
60.
Okay, now how long does it take to give up the first goal of the game?
You know, it depends on the game, but I'd say in this one, a bit more than a period.
And how long does it take to change the tides?
7 seconds.
And how long before it's a new game?
Can I borrow your hat for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. 22 seconds. That hat's going to get a lot of abuse. Yotes lose 5-2 against the Minnesota Wild. I'm going to cover this game real quick because trade deadline's tomorrow. And I don't want to talk about this for too long. I really don't. This was a stupid, boring game up until the third. And then in the third period, it just went to heck. First period, nothing happens. Other than Schmaltz having, the most basic play of handling the puck not work out in his favor. I'd love to see a slow-mo replay of that to know whether I should really be mad at him or if I should be mad at the puck. Second period, Kaprizov gets a bit of a rebound, taps it home. That's the first goal of the game. It goes to Minnesota. Dang it! Starts to look a bit worse for the Yotes. Lucchini comes into the zone, receives a pass, takes a shot. He finds his own rebound. The bounces a weird way. Vimelka's completely on the opposite side of the crease to where he should be because the puck bounced off of him. Like it came at him this way and went back out that way. He would have thought, because of physics, that it should go the other way. It doesn't. Lucchini gets the puck back on stick, rips it home, but Turney spots something that I probably couldn't, and I don't think any other couch GM or coach or whatever could spot, because there's one frame in the replay, one small frame, where it shows that the play was completely offside. Late in the period, Cooley's got the puck, he passes it off to Carcone. He shouldn't have passed it off to Carcone. Cooley had a pretty good shot at beating Fleury, but, it is what it is. You just get him next period. Speaking of which, next period, period 3, power play goes to Arizona. Keller's got the puck as a bit of a rebound hits him. He is on the goal line, stretches out the stick, roofs it into the back of the net. Faceoff goes back to the center dot. 7 seconds later, it's Carcone. Garceau! That's never going to get old. Snipes it into the back of the net, and we're up by 1. Go back to the center dot 22 seconds later, the Wild score, but it's a bit of a controversial one in that one of the Coyotes players got shoved into the crease, which meant that it would have been goalie interference because the goalie couldn't, he was interfered with getting to the puck. But it was ruled after another lengthy review that it was a good goal. Now, what they were saying was that the Coyotes player grabbed onto the stick of the Wild player trying to make the interference, create it, which, as the player of the team that's being scored on, you can't do. My logic behind it, as, maybe not a hockey player or a professional, anything to do with hockey yet, as a person with human instincts and reactions, if I am falling because I have been pushed or because I have slipped, whichever, I grab onto something. I try and stabilize myself. In the same right, if I were to be pushed in a hockey game where the floor is made out of ice, don't you know, I'd probably grab onto the closest solid-looking thing I could. And in that case, it would have been a stick. So my guess is the Coyotes were screwed out of a challenge, which also included us going down on the penalty kill, because of human reaction. So they get the game-tying goal. There's another goal that happens. Eriksson Ek gets a pass. He slams it into the back of the net from basically just a little bit past the face-off circle. And that puts them up 3-2. They get 2 empty nets to end the game. And that's the game, other than Brown and Shaw kind of going at it because of holding sticks and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the game. It wasn't great, didn't like it. So we're gonna move on because the trade deadline's tomorrow, and I have to cover that little bit. Stetch gets traded to the Oilers for a 4th round pick. It doesn't look like a good trade on paper, but I'm thinking there's a small possibility it's like the Bugstad situation. So after the season, after Edmonton gets eliminated or they win the cup, whichever happens, Stetcher could come back. I don't know. but that's what I'm going to go with to keep my sanity. Dumba and Zucker are also off of the lineup for trade-related reasons, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But going outside the Coyotes for a minute, I just want to mention that the Jake Gensel trade looks ridiculous. It looks like the initial trade specifically for Gensel, and I could be wrong. I'm not a professional reporter, just keep that in mind. I've got 31 subscribers right now. I'm pretty new at this. And thanks to all who watched and hit the red button. I'm very appreciative. It looks like Jake Gensel, got traded to the Carolina Hurricanes for a conditional first-round pick, which means they're not even guaranteed that first-round pick. There are some conditions, which is why it's conditional, as to whether or not Pittsburgh actually gets that pick. And I think those conditions may include things like whether or not Gensel stays with the team or what have you. That's just the one I'm thinking of at the present moment. I'd have to look it up. I could look it up. I'm going to look it up. Okay, I was kind of wrong. There's more stipulations than just if they stay with the team or not. There's also performance conditions in which, if the player does really well, the deal could be sweetened. If he doesn't do really well, settle down. That's where they won't get the pick because, you're trying to not overpay for a player, which makes sense. I'm very glad I looked that up. Otherwise, I would have looked like an idiot, which, So Pittsburgh, I feel for you. That's not great. It doesn't look great on paper. But you did get Michael Bunting. That's neat. I do have a game tomorrow. There's a back-to-back. So whether or not Zucker and Dumba get traded tomorrow, there is going to be a video tomorrow. I just looked it up. There's a game tomorrow against the Red Wings. Goody. Yeah, it's great. I didn't know that. Very disappointed about that. I wanted the day off. So I'll be back regardless of what happens tomorrow. I'll fill you in on the whole trade situation there. And we'll go from there. We'll see what the rest of the season's going to look like. And all I can say is Yotes aren't making it. We're not getting into the playoffs. It's an unfortunate year yet again. So in the meantime, stay howling and go Yotes. Because I got to keep that energy up. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can hit the like button. If you didn't like what you saw, tell my hair that you're sorry. I know it's because of the hair. If you want to see more of things like this with less messy hair, you can hit the red button. It goes gray, and then you get a bell. So it gives you an extra button. Share this with your friends so that they can figure out for me how the YouTube buttons work, because I have no idea. I get the basics. For being from Gen Z, I actually don't have that much in regards to technological ability. It's kind of terrible. So yeah, that's it. I will see you tomorrow. This is not going good. This is terrible.